That sure does look fun, Mr. Enzo. It's too bad that we lost you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Well, we just had one of our rescued residents enjoying himself, Bobcat Enzo. I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer. I can only imagine he'll circle back down into his pool. That is indeed a kiddie pool for a bobcat. But it's always fun, kind of the unique ideas and objects our caretakers come up with as enrichment options for our residents. You may kind of be looking at it and be like, well, what's a little bit dirty of a pool? What's that, what's that particulate in there? Well, as a matter of fact, those are whole catnip leaves that have been placed into this kiddie pool, obviously along with some water and some toys to float around. Enzo and Athena are getting excited about something up near their building. I'm going to see if I can catch up with them. But nonetheless, so welcome everybody. Happy Thursday. It's a little bit of an overcast day, but temperature-wise, it's pretty pleasant here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Let's see. Looks like we're going to have to keep on moving. But anyways, yeah, a little bit of an overcast day, but that is not to detract from some of the warm weather we're having, which is pretty nice. It's even going to be a more beautiful day tomorrow. And there are the two rascals that I was just speaking of. Enzo, both sharing a very similar past as many of our resident bobcats, both coming from private owners. I think we're going to walk over here. I see Benson. He's also kind of patrolling around. I have a sneaking suspicion that those boys, along with Enzo and Athena, are kind of honing in on wherever their caretakers are. Well, they're not here. They already cleaned all your yards. They've already placed all your enrichment. They've already given you guys food. So let's see if we can catch somebody next to a pool. I see Jalapeno coming down. What do you think there, Mr. Jalapeno? That is a kiddie pool with some special enrichment in there for you. Hope everybody's doing well. I kind of have been cruising around here, so I haven't been able to welcome and say hi to everyone, but I certainly will go through and welcome everybody by name here to our live post. And Enzo, Athena, as well as Miss Ava. Looking at Bobcat, Sky, and Celine. I think they are choosing that their enrichment today is the caretakers. We'll come up and see what Aria and Mondovi are up to. I see Celine. There's little Miss Aria doing some patrolling, and you guys have your pool. It's apparently not as big as a hit as it was when these guys, it would have been last week, they had some apples to do some bobbing. So bobcats bobbing for apples. You are a lynx, Aria, not a bobcat, but we like wordplay here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Thank you, Mondovi, reminding me why we have a protocol to always maintain a safe distance on our cats. Mr. Mondovi trying to reach through the fence there and get a hold of the paparazzi, but Mr. Mondovi, we got safety protocols set in place, so you cannot do that, mister. Hey, Lori M., thanks for joining us. Let's see who else is here. Sheila Corwin Smith says, kiddie pool parties, too much fun. Well, we're trying to have a kiddie pool party. I was hoping for a little more fireworks, but nonetheless, we'll kind of keep making a loop around Small Cat Track here and try to find some kiddos, and if not, we can always head down into the main part of the sanctuary as well. We're going to try to do another pool live post tomorrow with some of our big cats, which will be fun. And there goes Mr. Mondovi to act macho in front of, looks like Celine patrolling her habitat wall over there. And I see Lynx Aria here enjoying herself. Looks like Mondovi is going over to the pool. Brief intermission by the pool. But oh, what a great example for kind of the different types of enrichment that we offer for our cats. And kind of like I was talking about at the beginning of the post, the uniqueness to some of these pieces of enrichment. We got the kiddie pool. You might not think a bobcat or lynx would enjoy something like a kiddie pool. Well, they certainly do, and give them things to kind of bob around and swat at. Jackie and Katrina added that would have been some whole catnip leaves. Well, I'll tell you what, it can be exciting for cats like these guys, but it looks like they're a little too preoccupied with their caretakers. So, Mr. Sarge, we are going to make a loop, and maybe we can come back down. I'm going to go this way. I think I'm able to get Bobcat Glenn here, as well as... There we go. That's Morgan on our left, Mr. Glenn on our right, and I am going to look at some comments here. Hey, Julie Robbins, thanks for joining us. Susan K says, hello, everyone. Ellen Simmons saying, ooh, another mini pool party. We're trying. Darn it, we are trying to have a pool party. Hey, David Farr checking in from Austin. I love that town. Hey, Hinyata. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for saying hi to the interns. Megan Cusack is here. Hello, hello, right back. Button checking in from the UK as always. Happy to have you, Sue. Lisa Harrison saying hi to Enzo. Come back to your pool. I agree. The pool party continues, says Lori Heath. Well, we are trying, I tell you. We are trying. Tomorrow we're going to see if we can do a live post with some of the big cats. Caretaker Alyssa is down in some of those yards today. And is doing some cleaning of those pools. So looking forward to having a little bit of a kind of aquatic post tomorrow as well. Let's see. I'm going to scroll through. Christine L is saying, I love how they lift their feet and shake the wet off. Right at the beginning of the post, we're kind of circling around to his area now. I am going to make a pit stop near Belvedere and Francis because it looks like those two are hanging out on a skywalk. And I see Autumn down here and Bobcats. Obviously, we have the three wild, but the three wild Bobcats, that'd be Mr. Autumn, who we see here, who we often see kind of taking advantage of his skywalks, perches and platforms, things like that. It's cool to see Mr. Autumn down on the ground and using those beautiful fluffy legs he has. And he says, I'm just going to snack on a little grass while I'm down here. But we've talked about Mr. Autumn's story before, and it's unfortunately kind of a tragic one where Mr. Autumn, as I mentioned, is a member of this three wild group of Bobcats. And Autumn is the one outlier in terms of Francis and Belvedere are actually siblings. Well, unfortunately, Autumn is a wild-born Bobcat from Minnesota. And Mr. Autumn was found, unfortunately, sitting on the side of the road after his sibling and mother were struck by a vehicle. And this little guy didn't really know what to do and fortunately was picked up. But at that point, he was too young to be rehabbed and released back into the wild, which meant that he was going to need to come to a place like the Wildcat Sanctuary. And we were very fortunate that a cat like Mr. Autumn did. Because being a wild-born cat, and kind of as he slinks away from me here, definitely takes some kind of extra things or specialized things to ensure that a cat like Autumn is going to be comfortable. And kind of going back to talk about how we typically see Autumn up high in his skywalks and perches and platforms, and that's one of the amazing things that the staff has done is identified really how productive those kind of high spaces are for offering a pretty strong sense of security to more timid cats like Autumn, which I love seeing. And then obviously you always hear us talking about our natural habitat. So they may look overgrown. We're kind of doing that with intention. We're certainly still kind of mowing pathways and trimming down certain areas, but most definitely are prioritizing that kind of natural feel. So a lot of that tall grass and foliage is going to offer Mr. Autumn that sense of security as well. I'm going to see if I can catch up with Belvedere and Francis. Here's Autumn back on his skywalk here. And we're going to follow down a little bit farther over to Belvedere and Francis. I'm kind of glancing over to see if Enzo's taking advantage of his pool. I don't see too much action over there. I'm just going to walk over here without disturbing Belvedere or Francis. It's going to be Belvedere on the left-hand side of the screen and his brother Francis on the right-hand side of the screen. And I know I often kind of use color to distinguish these two, but you can tell kind of in the light that we're in now that the color of their coat is pretty much darn near the same. But one other thing I kind of look for is Francis is a little bit more extroverted than his brother Belvedere. So I can tell Belvedere is on the left, not only from just a little bit of his physical characteristics, but him being the one who's aware about me being here. You can see he's looking over at me now. When I was walking over slowly and approaching him, Mr. Belvedere was the one keeping an eye on me. Francis, he's a little bit more kind of Joe Cool and definitely stands his ground, but is a little bit kind of less timid than his brother Belvedere, which is always kind of a big tell between these two. Let's see, Mr. Enzo. Hey, Goofy. Yeah. We were excited to see you playing in your pool first. Yeah. Now it looks like they're just gonna be curious about what's happening next door. I can see what Claude and Benson are doing. I'm a little stumped, kiddos. There's no caretakers up there. Alrighty. Is it Claude and Benson having fun that's getting you guys excited? Or maybe it's Ava and the Peppers. I see Benson. And he's also kind of cruising around. And I see Ava over here. I think it is time to seek greener pastures. We're going to head out into the main portion of the sanctuary. Hoping for a little more electricity with our pools today. But hey, you live and you learn. It was really those apples that got all of the cats excited when they were bobbing around for those. So we'll have to be sure to add those to our little grocery list and put some more frozen apples in for the Bobcats to do some bobbing. Some bobbing in earnest. And it's time for Judson to do some walking and talking and catch up on some comments. Oh, Susan, you're checking in from the emergency room. I certainly hope everything's okay. I know that being in the emergency room, that's typically things aren't okay, but no, our thoughts are definitely with you. That's scary stuff, and glad that the cats can be giving you a little bit of kind of light during what may be a dark time. It's scary to hear about that. Glad to see everybody giving her well wishes. Indeed. Lots of good vibes, Mr. Lavani and Kitu. That's so awesome to see. You know, we just have the best. Typically, it's kind of Kitu leading up the charge here. But looks like Kitu's hanging out in the back. I'm just scrolling through some more comments here. And thank you for those 50 stars, Susan. No sound, someone saying boo. That's unfortunately can be kind of a little buggy issue, but it can be easily solved by just Xing out of the live post and coming right back into it. Usually that can get rid of any issues you may have. Hola, Soraya. Buenos dias. Lots of love from Susan. Hey, Jocelyn. Thanks for checking in from Corpus Christi, Texas. And Denise Ada for the stars. Thank you for that, Denise A. Terry Newborn's asking, will you be showing Ramsey or Andre? Well, I happen to be right next to Ramsey's habitat. He or I should say the Cheetahs are lucky enough to be neighboring next to Canada Lynx Ramsey down here in Cougar Cove. Let's see, I can give a big old, I spy with my little, let's find the best. Holy cow. That was a big drop. Sorry about